So I just threw this together in the last hour or so, but I've been working on TEDx since May of this year. The organization is called TEDxGrandviewAve. In order to get a TEDx license, you have to apply. I am the social media leader, so I'm not the person that applied for the license, but you do need to apply for a license. And as a result of that, you have to follow the TEDx rules, and there are a lot of them. You have to think about branding, you have to think about logo design, you have to follow their specifications for all of those things. Whenever approaching speakers, whenever setting up your website, putting photos up, all of those things have to follow the TEDx brand. And TEDx is an independently organized division of TED. And it's locally organized. It's supposed to be about building your community around these TED Talks, which are ideas worth spreading. So for TEDx Grandview Avenue, we put our team together, and a lot of us met at Startup Week in Pittsburgh, if you heard about that. We worked together to, you have 54 hours at Startup Week in Pittsburgh to put together a business idea. And based on that, we realized we all thought about business, we thought about working together as a team, we thought about ideas and how those ideas are important and what you can do with those ideas. And as a result, we thought that we would all work well together as a team. Casey Worley is the founder and the director of TEDx Grandview. Shane, Matt, Ben, Sarah, myself, and Ingrid, we all work together on TEDx Grandview Avenue in different roles. So whenever you're thinking about putting together this TEDx Grandview Avenue or TEDx wherever you are, you want to build a website, and whenever you're thinking about building a website, you want to think about who would want to attend, and you have to send out invitations. So in order to get an invitation, you have to fill out this form, which asks you different questions about yourself, why you're interested in attending a TEDx event, and what you would like to get out of this TEDx event. For your first TEDx event, you can only invite 100 people. That's part of the rules. So right now, we started in May. We haven't announced speakers yet, but we have roughly, the last I heard, there was about 65 people that have requested invites. So it's going to be hard to get an invite to this event since it's not until February 23rd of 2013. Thank you all for coming.
I missed that, those 65?
Yeah, we're about 65 people that have requested invites, and we blogged about it because everyone has to fill out that form that I was just showing. Casey wrote a blog post about how much progress we've made so far, and she made a word cloud out of all the answers that people have given as to why they want to attend this TEDx event. And as you can see, the biggest words are the most repeated words. And they want to be inspired, they want to gain knowledge, insight, ideas, hope, experiences, things like that. So that was inspiring to us as a team just to see that all put together in that way. So when you're thinking about speakers, you want to think about who are the thought leaders in your local community. Because it is about building your local community, you want to think about staying local. Not all of them have to be from the area that you're in, but you want to approach those people specifically. And the way to find thought leaders, you want to, of course, go on Twitter. I use Twitter all the time, and I find a lot of people that way. You also want to think about who has talked at TEDx events before, and why they have talked, and whether they have given a good talk. Some of my favorites, Bill Strickland from the Manchester United field, he gave a talk, I think it was in 2002 at the big TED conference out in California. And as you can see, I mean, when you give a talk, if it's a really good talk, especially because of the TED conference, you can get upwards of like over 300,000 views. People share these, they love them, and it's gaining, especially with these TEDx events, it's just gaining in popularity every day. Some of my other favorites, a lot of them happen at TEDx CMU. Luis Van On. He gave a talk about Duolingo, and that's the new software that he's working on for translation, language, working on that. He was talking here about reCAPTCHA. He created reCAPTCHA and sold it to Google. And another one of my favorites is Mickey McManus. He's talked a couple times, TEDxCMU, TEDx Grand Rapids, TEDx Leadership Pittsburgh. There's been a couple TEDx events in Pittsburgh. There's TEDx Pittsburgh, TEDx Leadership Pittsburgh, TEDxCMU, things like that. There's also TEDx Penn State University. We talked to them a little bit about what they're doing. And some of my other favorite ways to find thought leaders in Pittsburgh, this is a website I created called 3 Hour Local. It's only about a week old, so as you can see, it's not completely done yet. But one of my favorite tools that I put on here is, it's not showing up. I don't know if you've ever heard of Paperly, but you can put together your own website, or I'm sorry, your own newspaper. And I put together one, unfortunately, I can't find it at the moment, but I put together one for 3 Hour Local, and you can I use hashtag Pittsburgh, and every day I get updates about what people are tweeting and using hashtag Pittsburgh on. Okay. So you can also talk to local bloggers. One of my favorites is Pittsburgh. There's another Twitter trends map. As you can see, Podcamp Pittsburgh 7 is 22nd on the Twitter trends map. That's a good way to find local thought leaders. You can talk to local bloggers. One of my favorites is Pittsburgh, as you can see. As you can see, she tweeted about Podcamp 7 here recently. And she tweets about a lot of other events and posts about a lot of events. And you want to think about this months in advance so that you give yourself time. We got together as a group. We talked about who we like, who would we like to see. We put out a call for speakers, and we got together like a nice graphic so that you can see it visually what we're looking for. But you definitely want to talk about who you would like to see, so you don't know how many people are going to apply. We didn't have something to go off of. Nobody had ever heard of TEDxGrandviewAve. A lot of people don't even know it's about Pittsburgh because Grandview Avenue doesn't necessarily say Pittsburgh in the title. So we had a list of people that we would love to see. We talked to them, we emailed them, tweeted at them, talked to them on Facebook. And a couple of those people we got, a couple of people had just put in insanely great applications, and we had to say yes to them. We haven't announced our speakers yet, and that will probably happen in the next week or two. But that's how we found a lot of our speakers, just using social media and our audiences that we had developed on our own Twitter accounts. Does anybody have any questions about TEDx or how you put it together? Yes.
Yeah, do you know how many speakers there will be?
Yeah, we're going to have 9. Yeah. Yeah. We're also going to have a performance by a local group. So it'll be 9 plus a performance.
And you said there's 65 people. And where is it being held at?
It's called the Pierce Studio. It's in the Cultural District downtown. We're only allowed to invite 100 people because it's our first event. We will also have volunteers, and we're also going to live stream it, but we're only officially allowed to invite 100 people.
So with the other TEDx groups in Pittsburgh, which I didn't know about, why is there a need for another? What's the notion behind having separate TEDx events in the same group?
Sure. Well, I can answer this personally, why I would want to get involved in it. TEDxCMU is very university, it's university run, it's very centered around the university and speakers that are professors. That doesn't mean necessarily they're all professors, but that's just sort of the general theme. I've never been to a TEDx event. I've watched a ton of videos online, but it seems as though, at least from my perspective, that they haven't used social media as much as maybe we have as a team. And I wanted to make sure that we utilize the entire community using these social tools, and that's why I wanted to get involved, and that's why I wanted to see another TEDx event that used those tools and really brought the community together.
What is the leadership one? Because I know about the CEO and it is kind of exclusive to the CEO.
Right.
There's a leadership.
There is. I don't know who runs that, and I haven't heard a lot about it. I just know that Mickey McManus had talked at one of them. So that's basically how I found out about that. There is a directory of TEDx events, and you can search by location on the main TED website. So that's how I found out about a lot of them. But again, if they're not promoting it on the channels that I live on, basically, then I won't find out about it.
And how often do you expect to have?
Well, we haven't talked about after this one, but the idea, you have to apply for a license each time. So if it's a success, which we hope and that's what we plan for, then I would imagine that it will happen annually.
How do you measure the success of the event?
I would say, even right now, just the buzz that we're getting before we haven't used any traditional media. We haven't announced speakers, and we already have 65 people that have said, and it might even be more now, but have said, I want to be a part of this. I've had at least 5 or more people say, I definitely want to volunteer. There's 7 of us just in the planning team. So there's a lot of excitement around this. And I go to a ton of events, and people are like, oh, I love TED videos, and I can't wait to go see who you have speaking, and I can't wait to attend if I get an invite and everything like that. So.
And what are the criteria for the invitations?
That's going to be tough. I don't know how we're going to decide as a group who's going to get to attend and who's not going to get to attend. We had discussed the idea of live streaming to local bars and restaurants. That's just kind of something we're thinking about, and then trying to bring everybody together afterwards. Unfortunately, we would love to have more than 100 people, but unfortunately, because of the rules, we're not allowed to on the first go around. So, this is the last presentation of the day and of the conference. Is there anything that anybody really wanted to get out of this conference, or any sort of conversation everybody wanted to have?
I was just interested in learning more. I can't do that with speakers, but is there a certain direction that the conference was geared for?
Sure, yeah, I didn't talk about the theme. Our theme is the edge of innovation. So everybody that we have speaking, we want to discuss that and to make sure that they're talking about what innovation means in their field of expertise. So we're going to have someone talking about community, we're going to have somebody talking about technology. I don't want to give anything away, but art. We just identified thought leaders in those areas, somebody in industry, culinary, things like that.
Well, can I be invited?
We'll certainly consider your application.
Remember, I asked the first.
So I can show you.
Like when you try to get a license, was that an extensive process?
Yeah, unfortunately, I wasn't the one that applied for the license, so I can't speak to that so much. I just know that you have to apply for that. We're also thinking about, sponsorship is kind of another beast, but we're also thinking about getting a nonprofit 501(c) status so that we can get more sponsors that way.
But that's another question I have too. How is it all paid for? How is it all funded?
So you can't pay your speakers, so everybody has to donate their time. And we've had actually a few sponsors already approach us, and one officially on the website. We have this Red Blue Voice, if anyone met Josh this weekend. But yeah, I mean, we're just creating this buzz. We're trying, once we announce the speakers, we're going to talk to the press and hopefully get a lot more people behind it. And then we can go to sponsors and tell them, hey, you know, this is who's written about us. And we have all these people that are interested. We also have sponsorship information that you can download at the website at TEDxGrandviewAve.com or GrandviewAve. But we put together all this literature. And then there's several tiers of sponsorship that we put together. This is the Twitter feed for TEDx Grandview Avenue. I've been running that a lot. One of the best ways that I can get people to follow or just to talk about us is to tweet to them specifically. I've been tweeting about Podcamp Pittsburgh 7. One Young World was just in Pittsburgh. I tweeted about that several times. I've been tweeting about Alpha Lab a lot. If you can get the organizations that are active on Twitter behind you, I mean, that just grows your community exponentially. Rachel Carson at Yelp is great. Malia Spencer at Pittsburgh Business Times, she's great. We Propel is great. Facebook has been a little bit more difficult for me. I've never promoted a business on Facebook before, and I always thought about Facebook since college as family and friends. So, I mean, we have 93 people, so that's not bad at all. But it's just, Twitter seems easier for me. Has anybody had a lot of success on Facebook as a business?
Our community for Propel tends to congregate on Facebook, which I love Twitter. I like trying to get Twitter going, but they just live on Facebook, and it's been great because we can share pictures from events, people can tag themselves, and we encourage them to do that. So I think for us, because we do a lot of networking and people can network better, I think on Facebook, because you can see faces, you can tag people for that particular thing, yeah, it's been great. I think it gets hard though when you're kind of leading up to an event, or, you know, it might be about kind of for you guys sharing thought leaders in Pittsburgh, if that's, you know, whatever sort of your theme is, to start to highlight and tag other pages and businesses in Facebook to start to build some of that reciprocity going. That might be a way to help you create the buzz. And once you get your speakers up, we did a photo album of our speakers for Style Summit, all the presenters that were coming. That blew up because people would see it on the individuals' Facebook pages, and they would like it and comment on the pictures, and to really get into a conversation about it, that only helped direct more kind of buzz and ideas around, oh look, this is really cool, what are you talking about, why is this picture being posted? That we found there was a lot of engagement from that who knew that just posting an image from a blog post on there, but it really seemed to spark some kind of community and engagement in that way.
Right. Yeah, pictures seem to be a huge driver of interest in a Facebook page. We've attended a few events together as a team, but I've been thinking more like we need to get those pictures from those events and definitely post those those pictures on Facebook. I've also found that shorter posts, like just a few words on Facebook, works better than more than just a few.
And even because I mean you're part of TED, you know, posting some of your favorite TED Talks.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of that. Yeah,
you know, would go viral. I mean, finding different things, I post them, share the links. You know, when something's inspiring, people really do want to share it, and Facebook makes it really easy to be able to do that. So, right. You know, finding some of the more popular ones or ones that I didn't know that there are Pittsburgh people who have done TED Talks in the past. That would be really cool to see who's coming through. You're already doing the work. It's just about kind of, sharing that through the different platforms.
Anybody?
Are you doing anything on LinkedIn?
We haven't yet. We've talked about that. We also talked about. I don't know, but we talked about trying, because we haven't seen a group for TEDx organizers or just TEDx in general on LinkedIn in the Pittsburgh area, so we were thinking of being the group that brings those together. But we haven't done it yet, but yeah, that's something that we've thought about. Has anybody had a lot of success with LinkedIn groups? Is there like a group that you belong to on LinkedIn that you really check in on?
So, I mean, I check on some every now and then. Depending, some of the groups are kind of spammy.
Yeah, I got that a lot on LinkedIn groups, just spam, unfortunately.
But if you set up your own group, you can control that.
Right. I hope so. I don't know.
The other nice thing about having a LinkedIn group is you can use it, you can send emails
Right.
to every member of the group, like once a week.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I was gonna say that, I've been on LinkedIn groups and Facebook groups. It seems like, I don't know what it is, but the Facebook groups seem to be a lot better. They're not as spammy. The conversation flows a lot more easily. Like,
Right.
people are much more willing to talk to each other on Facebook for some reason than they are on
Yeah. A great, just to plug, a great group on Facebook is the Pittsburgh Bloggers group. They're pretty active. I would say every day at least someone posts something new about what they're blogging about. And I think there's up to like 150 at least people in that group. And it only was created about, a month ago or something?
Yeah.
So that's great. We have a very connected bloggers group in Pittsburgh. They're at a lot of events, and they definitely get behind you immediately as soon as you have an idea. So.
Are you planning on, and I'm sorry if my husband's going to me, inviting youth or having a youth innovator speak? Are you planning on engaging like kids in the TEDx Grandview?
Yes, we have thought about that. And again, I can't give it away because we haven't announced who's participating or speaking. But there's definitely a wide range of speakers and participants, both in background and age, and just interest, all kinds of things. So can't wait to announce it. So I'm sorry, you just came in. Was there anything that you were hoping to get out of a TEDx talk?
I don't think that, sorry.
Oh, that's okay. Figured I'd bring you in. I really tag a lot of things with hashtag Pittsburgh. That's something that trends a lot on the trends map. So I get a lot of people finding us that way. And I find a lot of information that way. On Facebook, I've pretty much followed everybody I can find, any business that I hear about, any organization that I hear about. I immediately look for it on Facebook and start following it or like it. There's a ton of events in Pittsburgh, and that's why I created 3 Hour Local, just to get a calendar together for that. I haven't added, again, it's only been up for about a week, but I haven't added as many as I would like. Is there any events that everybody likes to go to that, that's the event that really excites you? Like startup drinks?
I was going to get startup drinks. Startup drinks. Just a few friends around. So, actually thinking about that, is there any, I didn't realize it was only 100 people, so if I'm not doing it, there's a real good chance it's going to happen. Is there any energy behind like having just gatherings at like Alpha Lab or Startup Town or Startup Drinks or to watch the live stream?
Right. We're thinking about streaming it to local bars and restaurants. Hopefully we can make that happen and then bring everybody together afterwards at a bigger venue. We also attend a ton of events. I mean, you'll see me at a ton of events. Casey and Sarah have been going to a lot as well. And we try to promote it that way. I don't think, if I read the rules correctly, and please don't quote me on this, but I don't think we're allowed to have community get-togethers unless we're part of a university. So like TEDx CMU or TEDx Penn State University can bring people together and they can watch TEDx talks and then talk about them. But I don't know that we're allowed to do that outside of the university.
Independently do that.
Yeah. I don't know if we're officially allowed to do that.
You wouldn't do anything. Just be the independent group getting together to watch, because it will be live streamed outside.
Yes, it will be live streamed. Yeah.
Can you talk more about Fair Local and what you're hoping to do with it?
Sure, yeah. So let me try to go back to that. There's so many tabs open. So this is the calendar. I hope to fill this. I mean, there are a ton of events, so I hope that this is just full all the time, every single day. And I'm also going to, every time that I add an event, I'm going to add it to this map, which plugins are amazing. If you use WordPress, I mean, plugins are just your best friend. Everything that you see on this website was probably created in 15 minutes or less. So this is MapPress plugin. You just put in Pittsburgh. You can add your own little icons at the bottom. You'll see if you hover over it, like I've written a blog post for Podcamp Pittsburgh 7, so you can see the address, see the blog post that it links to. And so I have the blog post there. There's also a plugin that I use called Timely, which you can use as a widget over on the right there. And then it goes to a more specific page with a map, when the event is, where it is, the cost. If there's a person to contact, I'll put contact information, and then the blog post below it. You can add community news, so if anybody has an event coming up, a Propel event, a Startup Drinks Pittsburgh event, please submit it over here, and then you'll see it up top. As you can see, WebKite is hiring. They submitted that through the widget there. And on the main page, these will be the spotlight posts over here, which you can click on over here as well. I really try to integrate social media so that everybody wants to share it, or if they want to share it, they can very easily. These will be different categories that I've written about. So I wrote about jobs. Spotlight will just be general things that I found in Pittsburgh that I want to highlight. Events as well. There's a Pittsburgh Geek Breakfast. That was my most recent post. That's a lot of fun. If you've never been to Pamela's, incredible breakfast food. I heard Sean Graham talk about visual storytelling. So I tried to find, every time that I post, I try to find the most vibrant pictures. Try to find, like, I can't wait to eat that. I really try to think about pictures that are going to stand out to people, that are going to make people want to come to the event. If you haven't been to the Andy Warhol Museum, please just leave here and go directly there. And the posts take some time to put together. Like this one in particular, I mean, I knew all of these companies before, but like just going to all their websites, every single company connects to their website and their hiring page. So this took a couple hours to put together, but I got a lot of retweets. I got a lot of people that were thanking me for that. So when I post, I think about what is the information that would be most useful for me, but also like how is this going to be more useful to the community at large? And a ton of people are looking for work in Pittsburgh, and these companies are all phenomenal. So hopefully, somebody has found this page and has applied to one of these companies as a result. Also, I try to incorporate tweets. I love that you can just post in WordPress. You can just put it as a line, just link to the URL, and it becomes a tweet on your post. And then you can see, like, not only is he local hiring, like they're really thinking about it, they're really trying to push it out to the community. There's also a plugin called Zemanta, Zemanta, and that will come up with related articles, and it will also suggest Creative Commons pictures that you can use, which is great, because you don't want to use pictures and people are going to come back and say, hey, can you not use that? So that's a really useful plugin, Samantha. There's 3 Hour Local on Paperly. So this is a great resource. I only started using this maybe a week ago, but I love going through this every day. Basically, you can put in the content that you want to receive that's going to be part of your newspaper. So I've used hashtag Pittsburgh, Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, Pop City Media, some of the people that I love to follow on Twitter. And then it organizes it for you so that you have the best content at the top. You also get videos that are locally focused, or at least in my case, they are. And then it organized by category of health, just general stories, photos. A lot of these are from Instagram, and education, business. As you can see, hashtag Pittsburgh, that's really useful for me. I also, once Christmas gets a little bit closer and I have a little bit of time, I created a Pittsburgh store. There's an Amazon Associates plugin. I think if you just go to Amazon Associates, you can create a store, your own store, and then embed it on your website. So if you make it look similar, use the same colors and everything, you can put all the content that you want on your site. So this is my Pittsburgh store preview from Amazon, which I really like. I mean, I want everything on here. So there's a couple pages there. I've added to it as much as I could. It's great too because companies that I love, like FutureNerd or Four Moms, or even the Andy Warhol Museum, I can add things from Amazon if they're selling on Amazon to my Pittsburgh store. Trillions is a new book by Mickey McManus of my design in Pittsburgh. You can also go to the contact page, which also says submit an event. So if you don't want to do it in the Add Community News, you can go to this page. It will go directly to my inbox, and I will post about it immediately. So, anybody have any questions about 3 Hour Local or about putting a WordPress website together?
I'm just going to ask, I've worked with a couple local nonprofits, and it looks like right now it's mostly tech-based. Is that the way you want to keep it, or do you want to get more general stuff on there?
I think I have a tech.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm very interested in tech, so yeah, I guess I just sort of naturally post about that. I want it to be about the broader community, but at the same time, I can't be the Post Gazette, or I can't be even Pop City Media. I mean, they write a lot about the city in general as well. So I try to think about what's interesting to me and what can help the people that I know on Twitter or Facebook or LinkedIn.
So I was just thinking if I submit an event or something like that, general ed might not work, but if I have something techy, maybe something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I would certainly encourage if you have any event to submit it, because you never know who's going to show up. I never know what I'm going to show up to. So if I know about something and I have a couple hours, and I'm in the city, I'm going to go. So it never hurts to submit it, and it only takes a couple minutes. Just a couple fields. So so definitely submit it, and it'll be on the calendar. And if someone shows up, great. Yeah.
I just heard somebody mention this today, TEDx Women. One here that's happening December 1st. Are you familiar with that?
No, was it the girl that was in here earlier?
I don't think so. And I looked it up. I just looked it up online. Organizer Aradna.
Oh, you heard.
So I don't know who this is either. But it's like a TED.com related event. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with it, but yeah, you found it on the directory that's just like local Pittsburgh.
Yeah, but it doesn't have anything else. It just like about this event. It has the date. The woman I spoke with said that she just got an email this week, so I was trying to find. That's all I have.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have any more information on that.
There's a long description on, if you just Google TEDx Pittsburgh Women,
Okay.
it'll have like a huge page.
That's what I have. Here.
But one of my pet peeves, and this is just about events in general, there's these tools that are phenomenal. They're just so easy to use. Like WordPress, granted, you have to know a little bit about, you have to get a domain, you have to get some hosting, you have to set up WordPress, but if you don't know how to do it, just ask someone that does. It's very simple. It maybe costs less than $100 to get a domain and hosting. And then just, WordPress has a dashboard that looks a little bit complicated when you first started, but if you just play around with it a little bit, there's just so many things you can do. And I hate when I see websites, I won't bring up anyone because that would be mean, but when you see a website that's hard to register for an event, or it's just hard to look at, it's just like, just use Facebook and an RSVP, or use ShowClicks and have an easy registration, or just use a couple plugins, and it will be so easy to register. More people will come to your event, and it's all free.
I found a great plugin that I used on a project recently, and it's called I'm going to look it up exactly, and I'll tell you. It's like participation plus or something like that, and it had a couple of different options. Like you could have just people just kind of check in and say, yeah, I would like this, or gather event information, or donate money, or whatever. It's really kind of cool. I use it for like a pledge, so they can just pledge their name to cause and just show their city. And so you can display users in front of you if they've registered or clicked the buttons. That was a free plugin too. That was really
Yeah. I might be wrong on this. There's something like 20,000 free plugins for WordPress or something like that.
Oh yeah, there's a lot.
And they're all rated. If it has a 5-star rating, people love it. And you should try it out. Even if it doesn't work for your website, just try it. See if it, see what it can do. I can't emphasize that enough. Is there any sessions everybody has really enjoyed? Podcamp Pittsburgh 7? I really liked 10 reports that your boss will love. That was really useful for me. Google Analytics is great, their website. Buffer app is so easy to use, and it's great for just if you're on a web page. So as you can see, I just post something here, and it's linked either Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, and it'll post it on a schedule. So I have it on a scheduled post within a couple hours of each post, and it's at 9 o'clock in the morning, at 11 or 12 in the afternoon and then successively throughout the day. That's a great free tool to use for posting. Hootsuite is great if you're using for professional reasons for social media.
How does Hootsuite and Buffer overlap or do different things?
Hootsuite is a little bit more involved. I don't personally use Hootsuite or haven't showed you my personal account. But Buffer app is just, I mean, it's incredibly simple. You just post something, hit a button, done. And even more than that, I mean, if I wanted to post about 3 Hour Local, if I'm just on the page, it will put it in your browser. So you just hit the button. Usually. There it is. And you can write your posts, click one of the buttons, and again, you're done. And that's for any website, doesn't matter what you're on.
Hootsuite has a version of that too.
Oh, okay. Well, that's great. So, any more questions about TEDx or speakers or sponsors, things like?
I might have missed it because I came in a little late. Did you talk about what the inspiration was for starting the GrandviewAve piece? I mean, I know and why you guys came together with this idea. How did that get started?
So, Casey Worley is the organizer of TEDxGrandviewAve. She's the one that applied for the license. So I can't speak to why she did that to begin with, but we all met at Startup Week in Pittsburgh. And that was back in March of 2000, this year, March of this year. And wasn't all of us, it was me, Casey, and Shane. And Shane set up the website and the page. And Casey applied for the license. I agreed to do social media, so I tweet and post just about every day. Casey also posts sometimes, as well as Shane. Let me see. And I'm not entirely sure how some of the other people got involved. I know Matt worked on Penn State, the TEDx Penn State University. He was the director of content for them. I'm not sure how Ben got involved. Sarah and Casey are friends. Sarah does the graphic design. She's the lead designer. So all the graphics she's put together, which are phenomenal. She's also created business cards. I love business cards. Does anybody not love business cards? Yeah. What do you like about business cards?
I can't keep track of them. I know I have them when I need them.
Okay. Well, the reason I love business cards, I mean, I just go to so many events, and I can't remember ever throwing out a business card. Like, I just keep them in one pile, and anytime that I want, you know, I need to remember that person, or who did I talk to, or, you know, just, they're just a great resource for me, personally. I'm not entirely sure how to start talking about that.
You're a designer.
Oh, right, yes. But she put together the graphic for TEDx. It's so the edge of innovation is our theme, and she put together this great graphic with the edge of innovation, and so that was her role. Was there anything else I can answer for you?
I was just curious where, like, what you came together around, like, what was that piece, or what inspired you to get involved in the project?
Well, me personally, I spoke about this earlier. I'm not sure if you were in the room, but there are a lot of TEDx events. There's TEDx EMU, TEDx Penn State, TEDx Leadership Pittsburgh, but some of them are like CMU, but because it's an organization that's affiliated with a university, it's a little bit different. But I wanted to really bring in the community, and because I'm on Twitter all the time, because I'm going to all these events, I knew that I could be a part of bringing that community together and really pushing it out on these channels. So I wanted to get involved for the social media aspects. And because I see these great speakers and I meet so many amazing people in Pittsburgh, I really want to showcase their work, or at least be a part of helping to do that.
How's it involved with like TED itself? You know, if there's a great speech, one of these 9 speakers is like outstanding. Do they kind of promote it on their big platform that they have being TED, or just how's the relationship between this event and the whole umbrella of TED Talks?
So there's a whole list of rules that you have to follow, and because they just started this in 2009, they just started allowing people to do TEDx events, and they want to make sure that you follow all these rules and that you can follow all these rules and that you only invite 100 people, because if you mess up or if it's no good, it doesn't get a whole lot of attention. And I can't say that that's the reason why they do it, but I can only imagine. So if you want to expand it and start inviting more people, they put on these conferences where you can go and learn about how you can make it bigger and how you can really make it more professional and all those things. But I think you can only get invited to those. I don't know all the rules for that, but you have to go to one of those conferences to put on a bigger event. But you can obviously use the brand name. Again, you have to follow rules about branding, about the language you have to use. If you're letting bloggers or the press talk about your event, you have to use certain language and make sure that they include the TED language. It's very specific and very in-depth.
That answers it. I'm just curious how much regulation they put on it.
Yeah, I would say, they hope that you follow all these rules, and if you don't, I would imagine that they have ways of shutting you down. But I don't know how regulated it is. I don't know how involved they are in making sure that you're doing all of these things. But you don't want to get shut down, so you follow the rules, basically. Well, it's 2:50, so thanks everybody for coming out. Sorry, I threw it together at the last minute. I hope you got some useful pieces of information out of it. And thanks for coming.